All right, folks, you guys want to do a starter on a Subaru Impreza? Oh yeah, it's not fun. You guys know these starters are known to go on CVT automatic transmissions. They are back ordered nationwide right now between all the aftermarket stores. You have to go get one at the dealership. This is the one at the dealership. That's the model for an automatic transmission. This list price is $375 as opposed to $150, $274 at the local AutoZone, Advance, Napa, or whatever. But you can't get it. It's a common problem. They know about it. I'll attach a link to the bottom to a service bulletin that they know about. Has something to do with programming the computer, so it doesn't ruin the clutch. All right, so I'm going to start on the starter on this one here. Disconnect the negative side of the battery, tuck it up out of the way, so that you definitely won't touch it. And the starter is found all the way back here, people. All right, you can see the little solenoid right there. Okay, and you got all these hoses out of the way. You got the AC hose, which is pretty solid. Got another metal line there. So I think the way we're gonna have to remove it is from the side. Can't get it from the bottom because, as you can tell, you get the big cat converter right there. Okay, so it's definitely not coming that way. Might be able to finagle it this way maybe if they're moving around, but we're gonna work on the bolts first. Okay, and I'm gonna show you underneath that there's no room over there too. All right, so I'm gonna show you underneath. Let's go. So if you crawl underneath, there is no way, here's the cat, that you can get your arm in there or even get a space to get a starter in there. If you look on the side over here, okay, this is the frame up on top, there's the axle, there is the starter right there. Okay, you can see it right by the knuckle. There's the nut right there, and the other bolt is on top, and then you get the positive wire and a connector there. So you might have to work through here. So to work through here, it's a little tight space too, so I took the wheel off. Take the wheel off, you'll be able to get some of your body in there to grab it. What I try to do is I'm going to get that first. I'm going to get that nut on the bottom first. Okay, and if you see the corrosion, so the aluminum nut looks like an aluminum nut to the starter, which is aluminum, to the engine, which is aluminum. It's got some pretty good corrosion around it. And I'm not left-handed, so it's hard for me to grab that and break that nut. Right hand, you can't really get in there because it's more this way, you know what I mean? So you're on an angle. So for now, what I did was, I tried to break it with a breaker bar, just to crack the nut. I got it a little bit. Then I tried to do it with a deep socket. That didn't do it because, you know what? Because even with this one, this is a fine tooth socket. Even you put the fine tooth socket in there, okay, it was hitting the transmission, okay, so you have no room to go up or down. So that's a problem there. So you know what I did? Open ends. I piggyback 2 open ends. That's a 14 millimeter, by the way. So I put the 14 millimeter combination wrench on there, the round part of it, stuck it out, and I took another wrench, attached it to that, and I was able to get a leverage from out here just to crack it open. So once you crack it just enough, I went back to the ratchet. That didn't work because there's no room. You can't ratchet it. So I went for my flex. Gear wrench makes some nice flexes, and other companies make it. Go get it. So I got a ratcheting flex wrench that I'm going to go and get that nut off. Okay, the other bolt is up on top. That has to come from the top. There's no way you can get that from anywhere else. All right, so that's where I'm going to go from here. All right, the flex wrench cracks it open a little bit more, and then you do nothing but your left hand because you can't get it with the right hand. All right, so there's the nut. Dun, dun, dun. All right, one down. Now we're going to figure out the positive cable. And of course a little plug. And then the bolt. The positive cable, I might be able to get it from down here. But I want to check on top first. See if it's easier. If not, I'm coming back here. Take the positive cable from down here. All right. It's like we have to do this blindly because there's no room in the bottom. Everything's all sealed. All right, here we go. All right, up on top, the starter is right here. That's the positive cable. There's the regular solenoid cable that comes from the inside. So, to get in this little space here, we're going to take this air cleaner box off. All right, there's a little clip that goes here. All right, it's one of those pop-up clips. Like you see, there's a screw clamp here. Use a screwdriver if you want. Okay, and then there's the other one over here. After that, we're going to lift it up out of the way. Okay, give this a little squeeze. It's nice when the sun hits it. It's nice and soft. All right, this one here, take that clamp off, push that back. After you take the clip off, this whole assembly should pop up out of the way. Oh, there's a little hose there, but you know, I'm going to leave that connected. I don't really need to disconnect it, but you can. There's a little clamp over here. Okay, but there's the solder right there. Okay, there's the bolt with a little bracket. That's a ground cable attached to a bracket. The bracket is attached to the starter bolt. Okay, so when you take the starter bolt off, this little L bracket will come off. All right, and there's the plug and the other wire, the positive, and the little wire for the starter. So let's take this off and check it out. Will this be annoying? This might be annoying. Yeah, I think I'm gonna remove this. All right, little pinch clamp over here, people. Hose will come out. Why work hard? Let's do it. All right, 14mm flex. You're gonna use a short socket if you want. Okay, put it on that nut there, and we are going to crank it out. Gonna be tough at first. Like I said, you gotta break all this corrosion here. Once you break it, it'll spin pretty decent. Okay, it's not doesn't come off by hand that easy. Give them a little resistance there, but it will come out. Like I said, this bracket, this ground cable is attached to a bracket. This should come out. Mamma mia. I'm telling you, it doesn't want to come out too easy. Should be a fairly long bolt. Come on there, Mama Bear. Come on out. It's a long one. It's still spinning. Oh my God. There it is, there it is, there it is. Jeez, look at that. Like an old alternator belt. All right. That's it. There's no washer attached to it. It's just this cable. So I'm going to take the bolt off of it. Put it off to the side. I'm going to take this. I'm going to bend this off to the side so it doesn't touch anything. And there is the starter. And it should come out loose. I didn't do the positive cable yet. It should come out because all the bolts are off. And it's in there pretty good. All right, we're gonna have to give it a little tap over there just to get it out. So use a butt end of the hammer, not the hammer side of it. You don't want to break anything. All right, just to break it loose. And I'm gonna try to pull it out and see if we can face the positive cable up this way so we can remove the cable. Okay, small little thing. There's a stud on the bottom, remember, with that nut. Okay, so come out. We'll be able to spin it. You know what? Might be able to drag it up in here. There you go. I'm going to drag it up here, right above here. I'm going to disconnect everything from here. All right. Looks like a cover, a little clip here, one of those little tabs that you squeeze. Spin it over here. Yeah, look at a little squeeze tab here. That comes out. I did that with my left hand. That's pretty good. All right, and then we'll take this little nut off here. Okay, and then we'll transfer it over to the other starter. Okay, I'm going to take a look and see what's wrong with this starter. There you go, tilt it like that. There it is. All right, does that look like a 14 also? That could be a 14. Could be a 13. We'll check it out. It's a 12 millimeter. So I anchored it on the side, leaning like that. One hand holds the starter. The other hand would hold the ratchet. I'm going to get this nut off here. For some reason, these things are all giving you a hard time. It's always better with two hands. Okay, so I'm going to take this little rubber boot. I got to hold the back. That's the problem here with me. Okay. Take that out. Take my washer out. Just remember in that order. There's no other wires attached to it. And that's it. Okay. Let's take the starter out. There it is from the top. All right. Let's go analyze it on the floor. On the floor. Let's go on the step stool here. All right, now supposedly the problem is in this clutch here. That's why it has that little wheezing sound, like whee. But all right, see, this is because it's jammed. It should spin one way and not spin the other way. This one does not want to spin. Oh, look, it's stripped. Look at that. See, it's not even spinning with that piece. So yeah, so every once in a while, if it grabs it, it'll spin. Let's get a new one. Here is a new one. Let's see here. This one spins that way too, okay. Without that, so that might be a false thing that I just said. And this one goes this way. All right, skip what I said. This one works. But like I said, this was an intermittent one, so it's probably on its way out. But I do feel a little binding here. All right, so you compare the two starters. They look exactly the same. Come on, you pay almost $300, $400 for it and don't come with a new nut? You serious? Come on, Subaru. Really? Give me a new freaking nut. All right, you can see the newer style model and the original. See how it says AA85A? This is AA85B, so this is the second version of it. All right, that's foreign cars, they have that thing where they change the letters and you get an idea. Then I think these are the date codes. I'm not sure because the box did say January 13th. But then again, who knows? All right, let's go. I'm going to do this in reverse, all right, people? The nut back here, stick it back in, put the brackets in, and we should be good to go. All right, get this out of the way. Nice and dirty. There's a little corrosion over there in the green, which is not good. All right, we're going to put it back, people. Let's stick it in there. All right, there's the starter sitting right there, just resting on everything. Okay, tighten up the 12 millimeter nut. There. Put the boot back on it. Take this connector, connect that back onto the little tab. You hear it click, then you know it's good. All right, so now we're going to position it so that the bottom hole goes into the stud. And then we're going to put that long bolt in there. All right, so let's finagle that little sucker in there. All right, so it'll fit between here and the heater hose there. Stick the nose in there, give it a little turn. Once you drop it in there, then you got to kind of bring it back towards the back of the car. And swing the nose into the engine. All right, so now from the bottom, if you can see, I'm going to go with the stud first. There you go. Stud first. Once it's sitting on the stud, then this is going to go flush here. with the long bolt, and you'll be good. Okay, so long bolt with that bracket. Don't do that now because I'm gonna use my other hand to help you. Working on that long bolt. It is a long bolt, people. I'll tell you that for sure. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna snug this up for now. Then I'm gonna go downstairs and put the nut back in. I'm gonna tighten that one. Okay, so we're pretty much almost done here. All right, let's go downstairs. All right, so from the bottom, we're gonna put the nut on there, and we're gonna tighten that little bugger up. And we should be good. All right, stick my hand in there because we both can't fit in there. All right, so that's all tightened up. Everything looks good there. Time to put it down, put the air intake back on, connect the battery, and we're gonna start it up. After that, then we'll throw this wheel back on. Like I said, I find it easier to go through here, get your half your body in there, unless you want to lay on the ground and put your arm up there, whichever way turns you on. All right, that's what we're gonna do. Let's go do it. Hi, buddy. That's my buddy Peter, hanging out with me. All right, I'm gonna put this lift down. And here's the helicopter view from the top. All right, everything's all tightened up. Make sure you didn't forget that bracket. Everything's tightened down there. The nut, the positive cable, you plugged in the connector from the ignition. That's it. Now it's time to put this little piece back on. Don't forget the little hose that we took away. Where did I took it away? Here it is. All right. Untuck the hose, put that back on. Don't forget the little clip that goes here. The 2 clamps. And we're gonna go. I think we're good to go. So let's continue with that. All right, got that on. I'm gonna put the little clip on. Get the screwdriver. Tighten up these hoses. Right-handed. For this one. Oh, I have to hold this clamp up here to get it because it's slipping. All right, that's good to go. That's good to go. That's good to go. Take my cover off. I'm leaning on everything, and now we're going to put the battery back together. Right, negative battery cable. Where's my number 10? And go find my little ratchet. Put this little bugger back together. Alright, clean the terminals with a nice little terminal cleaner. Clean the contact in there. This will go in here, give it a nice little wiggle. And we're going to tighten it up. Looks pretty good. Everything complete. Clean out all your leaves in here, people. Otherwise, it just holds rust. All right, that's good there. That's good there. Tighten. This is already tightened because I never took it apart. And we are going to start this little bugger. See what happens. Put everything out of the way so nothing gets sucked up into the engine. Let me get my key. All right, let's see what a brand new starter sounds like. $375 starter from Subaru, as opposed to an aftermarket rebuilt one. Think it sounds any different? Probably not. All right, ready? Let's give it a listen. There you go, just like that. It started. We're gonna go. Okay, in case you didn't hear that one. something happened. I gotta stick the key in there. I'm gonna give it a turn. Beautiful. Look at that, huh? That's beautiful. Lower the radio. 49,000 miles on this baby. Try it again. There you go. All right. Should be trouble-free. Like I said, you got to look at that other thing that I wrote about the Subaru starters. There's a bulletin out on them. And the ECM or something has to be reprogrammed for the new starter so that it doesn't break the starter. Okay? It's on these 2.0 automatic transmissions. That's for sure. All right. That's it, people. Thanks for watching. Starter done. Ciao.